Okay, so I am going to go over with you guys today on how to use your research and to create an outline. So you guys had pages that looked like this that you were supposed to create for your research. So I have mine right here. You don't need to get them out yet because we're going to do an example together. But I have mine right here. So I have 2 pages front and back. That's a total of 4. These were to be done last week. You didn't do them. I gave you additional copies, and then you're supposed to do them over the weekend. I do not have time to give you guys extra time in class because I've already given you extra time in class. So that means that you've just got to make up the work that you've missed if you did not do it like you were supposed to. These templates, we took a picture of a blank one so that if you didn't have the graphic organizer, you could draw your own version on paper because you're not always going to have a graphic organizer to use. So if you needed to use blank paper and draw your own, you could have done that, okay? So you should have these with you. If you don't have these, if you do not have your information, if you do not have your research, creating the outline is going to be a lot more difficult for you. So you're going to have to go back, do the research, and then you can start with the outline. So if you take a look at mine, I labeled them in the lower corner. So I just started with one of them, and I just put the number 1. Then I flipped it over, put number 2. On the next one, put number 3, flipped it over, and put number 4. I'm going to ask you that you do the exact same thing. As we continue through, I will show you why it's important to have your sources numbered, okay? So I told you guys at the beginning that I was going to use banning animal testing as my kind of example, right? That's just my example argumentative essay so that we can do it together so that you guys can then apply it to your own claim. So I filled my information out, and then I used my information to create my outline. You all have a copy of my outline in front of you. All right, I'm going to explain how you go from research to outline. Then I'm going to explain, not today, but in another next class period, how you go from outline to paper, how you go from outline to writing your actual essay, okay? So that means the next time I see you, so if you are A day, by Wednesday, you need to have your research and outline completed Wednesday. If you're B day, which means you come to school on Tuesday and Thursdays, on Thursday, you need to have your research and outline, all right? So February 3rd and 4th, today's the 1st, February 3rd and 4th, you need to have your research and your outline in class completed so that you can do the next part. All right, so the first thing I did, if you take a look at my outline, the outline that you have in front of you, all right, I put my claim, which is my thesis. My claim is animal testing should be banned. I did the bare minimum on this. So can you do a better job than what I did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. You probably should. Because I did just what we had to do so that you guys had an idea. But hopefully you guys will do a little bit better than I did, right? Put forth a little more effort. So then I came up with my first reason on why animal testing should be banned. My first reason is because I think it is cruel. Okay, animal testing should be banned because it is cruel. I found that as a reason through my research, as I was going through my research. Also, when I brainstormed what I wanted to research about my topic, that's one of the things I researched. So my first reason, it is cruel. My second reason why we should ban it, it is unnecessary. Not only is it cruel, it is unnecessary. You don't need animal testing anymore. My third reason, not all animals are protected. So through my research, I found that there are actually animal testing laws, but they don't cover all animals, only some. So I found not all animals are protected. So my 3 reasons that we need to ban animal testing altogether is because it's cruel, it's unnecessary, and not all animals are protected by the laws that are already in place. I have not mentioned anything about the details yet. I'm just filling out that main line. All right? If I flip it over to the next page, then I can see now I have a counterclaim. Your counterclaim is the other side. Remember? Pros and cons, the other side of the argument. My counterclaim is that it is important. Animal testing is important. People who are in favor of animal testing thinks it is important. Okay? My rebuttal, so if you need to take notes about some of these words, if you don't know what they mean, this is yours to write on. I might, under counterclaim, write the other side to remind myself when I'm doing this at home what I'm supposed to do. My rebuttal is in response to the counterclaim. So whatever I put as my rebuttal, it has to respond to that counterclaim. So the counterclaim says it's important and why it's important. My rebuttal is the good doesn't outweigh the bad. Yes, it's important. Yes, it serves some purpose, right? But the good does not outweigh the bad. That is my rebuttal to the counter argument. And then the very last thing I have on there is the call to action. Call to action is, okay, I feel strongly about this. Now what? Now you need to get people on your side. And how do you do that? What should they do? If we want to ban animal testing, then I think people need to stop buying products that use animals. Okay? I know I had funny. I put stop buy products and I copied all of them and I was like, oh, I made a mistake. But I left it and didn't recopy it because to show you it's okay, right? This is just your outline where you're framing out your argument. You're gonna rewrite. I am not going to write it is in my paper. This is just me putting my thoughts down and organizing them. I'll rewrite it when I get to my essay. So I made a mistake. Oh, well, it happens, right? You can just cross out buy and put buying, add ing, not a big deal, right? Mistakes happen, okay? So now that I have my outline, my main points, reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, counterclaim, rebuttal, call to action. Now I'm going to go through and fill in my evidence. Where do you think I find my evidence? Yeah, through my research, right? My evidence is my research. Do you see how you can't do this if you don't have this? I am a color coder. I like to color code things because it makes it easy to organize. How many times when you go to write something, you're unorganized and you don't know what goes where? You have all this research, but you don't know what paragraph to put it in, you don't know where it goes, you don't know what to do with it. Sound familiar to some of you? Okay? By helping it fill this out and color coding it, it will help with that. So I chose 3 colors. Actually, I chose 4 colors. Pink, blue, green, and yellow. Okay? Anything that is highlighted in yellow, which I have up here and I'll show you, but anything that's highlighted in yellow is the counter argument. It's the other side. Anything that is highlighted in pink falls under the reason number 1. Anything I underlined in blue is reason 2. Anything that I underlined in green is reason number 3. So as I'm going through, I can find exactly where I want to place it. So this is one of my research pages, right? Okay. I want to take a look at this one. This one is yellow. It's FDA, and it's got some yellow on it. So that means that this information is going to go where my counterclaim is. Okay? So, do I want to rewrite this entire thing again? Not really, right? So what I do is I just wrote, FDA advocates to use minimum number of animals. FDA advocates, read blah, blah, blah. So I just kind of summarized it, number of animals, right? So I just summarized it because it's yellow, so I know it's going to go here yellow. And at the bottom, I have it numbered, the number 2. So on my research, what number did I put next to it? The number 2. So I know exactly, because you have to cite your sources in your paper, right? You can't act like it's your own information. Alex, please stop. So in order to cite your sources, you need to know where you got your information. So let's look back at the first page. It is cruel is reason number 1. How do I know it's cruel? Well, I know it's cruel because, pink, my supporting information for this one. The U.S. Department of Agriculture reported in January 2020, 300,000 animals and activities for testing involved pain in 1 year. That's crazy, right? So I just put, if you guys look at it, it says 300,000 animals tested / paid. Because I know that that goes with this. Number 1, it's color coded. Number 2, I just kind of put a brief explanation of what's in that box. And also I have a number 3. And at the bottom of this page, I know it's cut off on here, but at the bottom of that page, I have the number 3. So is there any way for me to not know where that information came from? I have 3 checks and balances, right? This does a couple things. So if you look at supporting evidence for number 1, I got an information from source 3, source 4, and then I would have a third supporting evidence from another source. So if I have multiple sources that are supporting one of my reasons, that must make it a good reason, right? You don't want to get all your information from the same one. So by numbering it and color coding, you can make sure you're using multiple sources for multiple topics. Does that make sense? This is like the most drilled down, simplest way I have probably ever done this, to be honest, in hopes that it will help, okay? But if you are not doing the steps like you are supposed to, it doesn't matter what I do, because it's still gonna make it difficult if you're not doing your part. All right, we have had time in class to research for 2 days. You've had time at home to research. I did this on animal testing. I found all of this research in 15 minutes. Now, I'm older, I'm a little more experienced, I understand that, but the fact of the matter is it took me 15 minutes to find 4 different sources and to write down the information from those sources. Could I have done a better job if I took longer? Of course, but I just wanted to get an example done for you guys. You had 2 class periods in an entire weekend. So you have plenty of time, right? So you need to make sure this is not like it should be taking you hours and hours if you focus and you get it done. You guys are going to have to do research from here until you graduate from whatever school you're done. My master's, I had to do an entire research project. You have to write a thesis paper, which is all research-based. It's like 20 to 30 pages long, depending on your major. Okay? Research is a part of your life. Do not say, I don't understand, this is hard, I give up. Don't do that. Don't do it, right? I get it might not be exciting, but that's why I'm giving you these to help you. So if you do not have these, if you do not have your research done, I do not have any more organizers. You're just gonna have to get a blank piece of paper and draw one out yourself, okay? Because I made like 150 organizer copies and I'm out. So make sure you guys were supposed to take a picture of a blank one anyway. So if you wanna keep them online and just make a copy and put them in a Google slide and type in it, you can, whatever you wanna do. If your research is done, start making your outline, right? Do you guys understand how your information from your research goes into your outline? Do you see how they go together, hopefully? This video will be posted, so it'll be posted in writing under argumentative. module so that if you want to go back and rewatch it, you can, and it will help you. So I will give you a blank copy here in a second. If you flip over your outline to the back, there's a part at the bottom that says word bank. Don't worry about that right now. That part is for when we start doing the actual essay. So when we go from outline to essay, you're gonna need this word bank. It's gonna be helpful for you. So just don't worry about that right this second. I will give you a blank copy here of this paper for you to fill out. Don't lose it, right? Don't lose it. Do not lose it. Take a picture of the blank one and what you have done so far if you think you're going to lose it. But I wouldn't lose it, because what do you need from me when I see you on Wednesday? Your research and your outline. Done. Not, oh, I forgot it at home. Oh, I forgot it at school. Oh, I didn't have time. Oh, I was busy, right? You are not, I wouldn't say you're not gonna be able to. You'll be able to, but it's gonna be a lot more difficult to write that essay how you're supposed to if you don't have everything you need. And this is a 6th grade standard. You will probably see argumentative on iLearn. Almost every year they have you write an argumentative piece of writing. So this is a huge 6th grade standard. Don't be surprised if this is what you have to write about on iLearn, okay? So that's why we need to take it seriously. All right, so if there's no more questions, I'm gonna pass out the blank copy to you for you guys to start working on now, for you to bring back to me on Wednesday.